I am Yakub Mattai from Kerala, India. Today I want to discuss with you. Subject is paracetamol is the most unscientific and dangerous drug for fever. Anyone can create a fever within hours using antipyretic objects. Introduction. Any substance that is cooling or reducing temperature, that means antipyretic is a fever stimulant because it increases inflammation and reduces blood flow. Antipyretics are the only substance need to induce fever and hypothermia in any organism. Paracetamol is an antipyretic substance. Anyone can create a fever within hours using antipyretic objects. Next one. Paracetamol cures fever and causes fear. Ignorance of the subject is the root cause. The medical book states that paracetamol may cause fever, neutropenia, thrombocytopenia, and skin reactions. This is not a side effect of paracetamol, but it's a proper function. Next. If it is said that the medicine used to reduce the temperature of fever itself causes the fever, the scientific and authenticity of that medicine are being questioned here. There is no science or technology like this anywhere in the world. Next. Today, hypothermia is called fever. As you are aware, today hypothermia and fever are divided into three categories based on the severity of the temperature. First one, the mild low-grade hyperthermia. Its temperature range is 100.5 degree Fahrenheit to 102.2 degree Fahrenheit. The same temperature is used to determine mild or low grade fever. Next one is moderate grade hypothermia. That is, its temperature range is 102.2 to 104 Fahrenheit. The same temperature is used to determine moderate grade fever. Next one is high grade hyperthermia, that is greater than 106 Fahrenheit. The same temperature is used to determine hyperpyresia. Next one. Hypothermia is a hypothermia cannot be created by fever creating agents. Fever cannot be created by hypothermic agents. The source of fever and the source of hypothermia are not the same. Fever does not occur from the source of hypothermia. Hypothermia does not arise from a source of fever. Next. Lower the temperature will not occur the fever. A decrease in temperature is not enough to reduce the fever. All substances and their functions which only increase and decrease during fever must return to the state they were in when there was no fever. Next one. Pyrogens which raise the temperature during fever are not only immune system created. Therefore, if prostaglandin is reduced with the paracetamol and the temperature is reduced, the fever will never go away because all the substances produced only during the fever and their functions will not return to their old form. Next one. Hypothermia cannot be. Most of the people is Most people mistake fever as high temperature and think it is a dangerous and take paracetamol to reduce temperature as fever is determined by checking temperature. A high temperature is not a fever but hypothermia, which is the opposite of fever. Hypothermia has none of the features of fever. Fever and hypothermia are mutually exclusive. Next one. Hot objects of the same temperature as fever or heat producing substance cannot cause fever in any living being. Any substance that is hot or heat increasing, that is means pyretics, are the only substance need to cure fever in any organism. In hypothermia, the temperature does not come from the same source as in fever, so there is no similarity between what happens when there is fever and hypothermia. They are contradictory. Next one. The only cause of fever is inflammation, but the only cause of hypothermia is high heat. Antipyretic fever treatment never reduces inflammation but increases it. Fever is temperature works against lack of blood flow and increases blood flow. Since inflammation is the only cause of fever, symptoms, signs, signals, and actions are shown when inflammation occurs. That is why the body hates cold and likes heat during fever. Next one. The body's lack of heat energy prompts the immune system to produce warm substances such as prostaglandin to constrict blood vessels under the skin to conserve and prevent heat loss of body heat. Reduce the fire rate of warm W neurons that sense heat and increase the fire rate of C neurons that sense cold. Next one. Similarly, in hypothermia caused by extreme heat, symptoms, signs, signals, and actions of overheating are shown. This is why the body hates heat and loves cold when hypothermia occurs. Next one. The essence of today's fever treatment is fever can be cured by using fever-creating substance. Here we consider the basic contrast between the basic action of fever and the basic action of paracetamol. Next one. Paracetamol is given to reduce prostaglandin 2, which increases temperature. Prostaglandin 2 is not a fever-causing substance. It has hypothermic, vasodilatory, and anti-inflammatory properties. Hypothermic substances never cause fever. They cause hypothermia, the opposite of fever. Next one. The heat of fever and the prostaglandin 2 are the most abundant substance in the body during fever. It is more abundant after the inflammation in the body. They are not abundant before the inflammation. Prostaglandin 2 is found in the body during fever, similar to airbag used to protect passengers in a car accident. Next one. Any substance that is hot or heat increasing, that is pyretic, is a fever reducer because it reduces inflammation and increases blood flow. Endothelial cells produce prostaglandin 2, which is an important part of immune system. The endothelial cells are the main regulator of vascular homeostasis. Next one. Paracetamol, which reduces prostaglandin 2, is given for fever, making this as the cause of the fever. Paracetamol destroys prostaglandin 2 without being recognized by the immune system to increase blood flow and reduce inflammation. Fever does not go away if heat-producing substances are removed from the body. Fever can only be relieved by avoiding substances that reduce heat in the body. Next one. Paracetamol, which reduces prostaglandin 2, paracetamol is given to patient to eliminate prostaglandin 2 found in fever, just as those who do not know the purpose of an airbag in a car accident disability thinking that someone will die in a serious accident because of the airbag. As a result, the body cells blood flow decreases and the patient dies. Next one. Paracetamol works in favor of inflammation, which is the underlying cause of fever. Paracetamol also destroys prostaglandin 2, a heat-sensitive pyrogen produced by endothelial cells to reduce inflammation and increase blood flow. Paracetamol does not reduce the underlying cause or symptom of fever, disease, or cause of disease, but increases it. Next one. Antibiotic therapy is necessary and appropriate treatment for hyperthermia and not for fever. Next one. Paracetamol does not reduce fever, the cause of fever, morbidity, or mortality, all of which are increased by paracetamol. Paracetamol destroys all the protective substances our immune system makes when we get sick. It decreases prostaglandin 2, glutathione, interferon, platelets, WBC, etc. Next one. Even for diseases that would have cured themselves due to the action of our immune system, using paracetamol can cause inflammation, reduce blood flow, and death. A claim to cure fever by using fever-creating substances is not called a treatment, it is a murderous attempt. Next one. Paracetamol is the most dangerous medicine for fever. Those who have proper knowledge about fever and the action of paracetamol. Without knowing this, paracetamol is a fever reducer for those who firmly believe that fever occurs when body temperature rises above 38 degrees Celsius, and the fever disappears when the temperature drops. Next one. Medical book says that antibiotic cause prolonged infection, which increase death. This is not a side effect of antibiotics, but it's a proper function. Paracetamol is a antibiotic medicine. Depletion of prostaglandin 2 and glutathione, which reduce inflammation, can also increase inflammation. No such a treatment or science was found even in the Stone Age. Next one. Paracetamol is prescribed for many painful symptoms and ailments. Many ailments like back pain, neck pain, and joint pain are caused by inflammation. Paracetamol to relieve the pain re-inflames the inflammation. Reducing heat-producing prostaglandin 2 will never reduce inflammation but increases it. Next one. Most of the people who took paracetamol reported that their fever went away when they took paracetamol. Is this correct? That is another question. The question is whether these people to know what fever is to know if this experience is true. Next one. All those who share this experience are those who did not know what is the correct definition of fever and mistake it for fever when the temperature rises above 38 degrees Celsius and felt that the fever went away when the temperature decreased. The only way to change their misconception is to understand what the correct fever definition testing are found. What happens when you only have a fever? Next one. The reality of paracetamol experience can be realized if one also recognizes the fact that anyone can get a fever with antibiotics alone, and that fever is defined, tested, and treated as hyperthermia at temperature greater than 38 degrees Celsius. That has no resemblance to fever. Next one. Conclusion. From the above evidence, paracetamol is the most unscientific and dangerous drug for fever. Anyone can get a fever within hours with antibiotics. Antibiotic treatment for fever is wrong, and paracetamol will not help cure fever. Fever is caused by destroying the immune system in any way. Fever heat to increase blood flow, and fever needs pediatric treatment. Next one. No other illness or symptom is more unscientific than justifying the administration of paracetamol for fever. No disease requires paracetamol to reduce the temperature. Paracetamol is also not effective in hyperthermia, where it is necessary to reduce the temperature. So giving paracetamol for fever should be banned as soon as possible. There is no other disease or symptom that is more unscientific than the assessment of fever. The same is true of paracetamol as it is of fever. Next one. There is not even 1% evidence that paracetamol helps the immune system in any way. At the same time, there is 100% evidence that it destroys the immune system. Taking paracetamol for fever is suicidal. Next one. That is reference. Next one. Thank you. Hear me patiently suffer. If you have any questions, you can contact my WhatsApp number or personal email ID. This paper is also published in a journal. After 5 minutes or 1 or 2 minutes, I will share the link of that paper.